Welcome back to the Silent Path. Have you ever felt like your life is a heavy boat, unable to move forward because it's carrying too much baggage from the past? We often mistakenly believe that holding on is strength, but sometimes true strength lies in the ability to let go. Today, I will tell you 3 stories of liberation. These stories will change the way you perceive pain, loss, and closed doors. Let's listen and find peace for our souls. High atop the mist-shrouded peaks lived an eagle named Aquila. He was once the undisputed king of the skies, his wings slicing through the fiercest storms with ease. But over time, Aquila began to collect golden feathers he found in the valleys below. He tucked them into his own wings, believing this shimmer made him more magnificent, more powerful. But the truth was far heavier. The golden feathers were dense and rigid. They didn't catch the wind, they resisted it. Slowly, Aquila lost his ability to soar. He could no longer hunt in the high clouds or escape the dangers of the lowlands. One afternoon, a violent storm gathered. As the winds roared, Aquila found himself being pulled toward the jagged rocks by the very weight of his own vanity. In that life or death moment, Aquila faced a brutal choice: cling to the gold and perish, or tear the feathers away and survive. One by one, he plucked the heavy ornaments from his flesh. It was painful, it was messy. But as the last golden feather fell into the abyss, Aquila felt a lightness he had long forgotten. With a powerful stroke of his natural wings, he rose, piercing through the heart of the storm, climbing higher than ever before. He realized then a truth that many never learn. True greatness is not measured by what you accumulate, but by the strength of what you are brave enough to let go. Aquila shedding his golden feathers wasn't just about flying higher. It was about finding his true self, a king who didn't need artificial shine to be magnificent. But sometimes the heaviest thing we carry isn't what glitters on our shoulders, but the broken pieces we hide deep within. Some of us spend a lifetime trying to mend what is already lost, forgetting that the fire of our present is slowly fading away. Next, let's visit an old blacksmith's forge, where a lesson about acceptance is waiting to be shaped. In a distant village lived the most skilled blacksmith in the world. One day, a traveler brought him a shattered blade, a relic from a war fought decades ago. The traveler pleaded with him to restore the sword to its former glory. The blacksmith spent months beside his roaring furnace. He ignored new orders and refused to forge the tools the villagers needed for their harvest. He was obsessed. He believed that by fixing this broken steel, he would prove his infinite talent. But the steel was dead. With every strike of his hammer, the cracks only grew wider, and the metal became more brittle. Late one night, staring at his own hollow reflection in the soot-covered mirror, he realized a painful truth. He was trying to heal a past that no longer existed, and in doing so, he was murdering his own present. He laid down his hammer. He took the broken shards and cast them into the fire, melting them down completely. From that molten glow, he forged not a weapon of war, but a brilliant plowshare to help his village grow. He learned that some things break not so we can fix them, but so we can transform them into something entirely new, something that actually has the power to feed the future rather than haunt the past. You see, sometimes letting go of a broken sword is the only way to pick up the tools that will feed your future. Take a deep breath with me and let your mind rest for a moment. Now, I want to invite you to step away from the heat of the forge and journey to a cool, misty canyon. There, a silent conversation is taking place between a stubborn rock and a humble stream. It is a confrontation whose outcome might just make you smile at the quiet wisdom of nature. At the foot of a giant canyon, a great rock stood in the middle of a rushing river. The rock was massive, ancient, and proud. It believed that its strength lay in its stubbornness. "I will not move," the rock declared. "I will defy the water. I will stand my ground forever." Year after year, the river flowed. The water was soft, humble, and never stopped moving. It didn't fight the rock. Instead, the river simply yielded. It curved around the edges, finding the smallest gaps to pass through. The water let go of the need to be right, choosing instead the path of least resistance. Centuries passed. The great rock, through its constant struggle to remain rigid, began to crack. The very force it tried to resist eventually wore it down into pebbles and sand. The rock was gone, scattered by the very water it tried to defeat. But the river remained. Because it knew how to flow, because it knew when to let go of its shape, it eventually reached the vastness of the ocean. The lesson is simple but profound. Stubbornness is the beginning of collapse. Flexibility is the path to eternity. When you let go of your need to control everything, you gain the power to overcome anything. Like the river, your strength is not in fighting the current, but in becoming the current. My dear friends, 3 stories, 3 lives, but one shared truth. Do not be like Aquila. Do not let the heavy glitter of the past drag you into the abyss. Do not be like the blacksmith. Do not waste the fire of your present trying to mend what is already broken beyond repair. And instead, learn from the river. Let go of your rigidity to find your own vast ocean. Remember, letting go is not about loss. It is about clearing the space for something better to enter. If this video helped lighten your heart today, please share it with someone who might be carrying a heavy burden on their shoulders. Click the subscribe button to continue walking with me on this silent path. I am your storyteller at The Silent Path. I wish you a day of inner peace and a mind full of light. I will see you in our next journey.